All right, so I'm recording. I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do here. Um, I just posted on Facebook that I kind of wanted to do something that I could give myself a voice with, mostly. Um, Not sure how exactly it's gonna go, but I do know that it's gonna tie into work. It might be stuff that other people can use too. It's not simply just going to be. It's definitely not going to be just like the numbers crap. Because I mean, let's be real, people don't want to hear that anyways. It's boring. That's why they don't do my job. Uh, Math is probably the least liked subject of all people. But so yeah, I guess we're just gonna roll with it here for now and see what happens. So if you don't know who I am or anything of me, my name is Opie. Um, I'm in Pennsylvania. My mortgage is my job. So I'm a mortgage broker. What that means is I'm the person who you come to get your pre-approval for a house. So if you need to figure out what kind of money you have to work with as far as sales price and things like that go, that's where I come in. And I run your debt to income ratios and figure out what your credit score looks like and everything, and determine if you can buy and how you can buy and all that stuff. And I do all the shopping for them. So like, if you were to go to a bank, they'll give you one option, and then you call, I don't know, the quick guys down the road, and they'll give you another option. But then there's somebody like me. I can call them both for you. So that's and it doesn't like it's not you don't pay per bank or anything like that. I mean, there's set fees for us just like there are for a bank, and they're regulated, so we don't like charge you extra money because we're a broker. Um, but yeah, so I'm Opie. I'm out of Pennsylvania, mostly in Erie, Pennsylvania, and into Pittsburgh. Um, the center part of the state, and Philadelphia is kind of covered by the rest of our team. But yeah, I don't know what exactly I want to do here, to be 100% honest, and I don't know what I want to call it. I've already had a couple of people say that they want to come on here with me and do stuff, but I don't know. Um, I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to do that yet. So I'm just gonna kind of give you, for now, a little bit of info about me, and humanize myself a little. I know if you've seen me on Facebook or anything, you see that I'm a goofball who will, you know, I've licked that axe before with these ridiculous glasses on and stuff, and do goofy dances and whatnot. But I'm a normal human who does normal human things too. So yeah, I'm 33 years old, about to be 34 here in like 10, 12 days. My birthday's in less than 2 weeks here. I've got three kids that are 8, 11, and 12, about to be 9, 12, and 13 because their birthdays all come up here very quickly together. But I am married, been married for a few years now, and that is certainly a topic that I know I'm going to end up covering, the marriage part, because it definitely plays into my job too, and I'll explain that later. But yeah, I haven't been in the mortgage industry for too long. It's only been a couple of years here, going on to my third year here shortly. But spent my first year with a whole different company, and now I'm with this mortgage brokerage that I'm with now. But again, we'll explain that stuff later. So I grew up just south of Pittsburgh in a town called Washington City. I mean, 15, 20,000 people, maybe max. Just a suburb of Pittsburgh, crappy little city with not much opportunity in it. And my parents understood that. And during our high school career for my sister and I, they uprooted us and brought us to Erie, Pennsylvania, and they did that kind of for a fresh start for our whole family. In all reality, and I can definitely say that it certainly changed our entire lives. I know that. The friends that I hung out with down there, there's a couple that aren't with us anymore, and a couple that are in and out of jail, and then there are a handful that are doing well for themselves. But for the most part, if you look at like the poster child of the perfect human being, I don't think any of my friends or any of even me are going to be that. Um, so getting me out of that was definitely great. And I know for my sister who was in high school when we moved as well, it was the same thing for her. She's talked to me recently, let me know so many people that we grew up with are dropping dead right now. Drugs, opioids, heroin, whatever. Um, yeah, I don't, it is what it is. So yeah, they moved us up here. We did our high school thing here. My sister devoted a lot of her high school to music. I devoted mine to the high school ROTC program, and I had enlisted in the Army in 2003, and I didn't even graduate high school till 2004. So I had to, do what they call like a delayed entry program or rep program that they had done. But spent some time in the National Guard here in Erie, Pennsylvania, and during that time I did random oddball jobs. I never entertained the idea of going to college. I actually just talked to my brother-in-law the other day and mentioned that I got accepted into the Citadel, which is a prestigious military academy, and I didn't go for stupid reasons. But ultimately, college wasn't going to be for me. I wasn't that guy who was good at academia. So I enlisted, and I decided I'd try and do something with a trade of some sort. So at first it was slinging. I think my first job after all of that was done tire. I was putting tires on cars, and I had done pretty well at that. I'm great with my hands, and I have good hand-eye coordination. And as stupid as it sounds, that stuff really matters for that, especially when it's really busy in the winter. Being in Erie, October, November, that first winter snow hits, and it was sun up to well after sundown, did nothing but putting tires on cars all over. But so I got really good at that, and was given an option to entertain sales at that same tire shop. So I took it, and I did like kind of half and half, part sales, part tire tech. And I did that for a little while, moved in with a buddy of mine, and he and I worked together. We did that. And he at some point, I got him into the job, and he at some point had just said, screw this, I'm done. This is not what I want for my world. And he bounced, and it wasn't very long. It couldn't have even been a few weeks, maybe a month after that I left too. It was one of those things where I realized, damn, I don't need to stick to this either if this isn't what I'm feeling. If this, I don't, obviously I can't be a 60-year-old man slinging 40-pound truck tires. But so I did that, went to AutoZone right after that, literally across the street from there. And, I was a car guy. That's what I did. I worked on cars since I was in high school with my dad, and spent time around Top Fuel drag racers and car shows and things like that. So I thought that was where I would be. And the military stuff happened, and went through all of my basic trainings and AIT and all that. And then I got an opportunity to that hat there to be a drill sergeant for, or I think our legal term was like a child care director or child care worker or something. But I worked at Vision Quest, which is like a boot camp, essentially is what it was. It was called the Boot and Hat Camp. Camp Charles Young down in Franklin, Pennsylvania. So I, traded in my uniforms for that hat up, that campaign hat up there that I never even really wore. I don't even know if we wore hats. If we did, it was just like a basic, I don't know, BDU, ACU combat hat campaign. I don't know. But, so yeah, I did that, left, right, left, yelling at kids, trying to guide them. And I think I definitely did a pretty good job at that. I still to this day have things from some kids that they had made me in wood shops and stuff like that. I definitely connected with a lot of kids there. It was a really rewarding job. But all good things must come to an end, essentially, and towards my end of that job, contracts with the different counties for all these juvenile delinquent programs that we were enrolled with or whatever were up, or the counties themselves weren't paying. This was right about the 2008, 2009 economy crash. So I felt it on my end because states or counties like Erie County, Allegheny County, Dauphin County, whatever, could no longer afford to pay us. I think one of the counties was even in like a $9 million debt with us. So ultimately, they ended up doing layoffs, and I was driving 84 miles a day to work as it was then. So they offered me the option to stay, but it was at a much lower rate, and driving that far just didn't allow for it. So, I'd take a hell of a pay cut. So I decided, I guess now we're going to go back to square one here. And I went to retail. I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods, the colorblind guy, striping ball walls and stuff. And from there, my direct supervisor moved to another retail store. He instantly, within like a couple of weeks of leaving, called me and says, I want you to come with me. So I went there with him, and I started doing store management training and all that. And my manager, I remember she was offered a position other than the one she was pursuing. And I think she had turned it down. And I even told her, no BS. I said, I think at this point I'm going to have to start venturing elsewhere to see if there's options for me, because it came down to, I want to go somewhere in life. And at this point I'm, in my mid 20s, and I'm an assistant manager at a retail store that wasn't making, good money at all. And I had 2 kids, and right about this time is when I met my wife, who had her daughter. So my third child, I had become responsible for 3 kids, so I said, let's try something else. And I went to a cell phone store, and I did the same thing there. I worked my way up from, I started there as a sales associate with the intent of working my way up. And after I got trained to be like the assistant manager, but so sales associate, assistant manager, store manager ultimately. And I left there as a store manager. I left there to do what I'm doing now, to be in mortgage. And I did that kind of jokingly, honestly. So just a fun little story. And maybe this is something you guys can take from today. Like I said, I'm not really sure what the goal is going to be, but take this maybe. So that same brother-in-law that I was just talking about recently, he applied for a job, and I want to say it was with NASA. And I jokingly asked him, like, why the hell are you applying to work for NASA? At the time, he had only had Army infantry experience. And he said, I read through all the qualifications, and it didn't say that I didn't qualify. And he knew, I knew, everybody knew that he wasn't going to get a call from NASA to go work for them. But it said he didn't. It didn't say he did not qualify. So he put his name in the hat. And that's kind of something that happened with me here. I jokingly, knowing that I didn't want to be in retail for the rest of my life, applied to be a mortgage loan originator with another company. It's no longer actually in business, so it might have been a blessing there. But I let my wife know. At the time, she had just become my wife. And I let her know that I jokingly applied to be in the mortgage industry. And the reason why I told her, she's a real estate agent. And she says, that's not really that big of a joke. You could do it. It requires licensing and a little bit of schooling, but it's not out of your reach. It's not something where you're required to have this finance degree, because again, I never went to college. So she got me in contact with somebody at that company, and I didn't even talk to them. I sat down with their boss for about 20 minutes, and they explained the need for people like me. And essentially what it comes down to was, and let's be real, it wasn't the need as much as it was in this industry. If you don't close on deals, you don't make money. So they don't really mind hiring somebody or throwing caution to the wind. They saw me and knew that my wife was an agent and said, well, there's a surefire client for him to use to build his business off of. So we'll at least make something off of him, and he's not going to get paid until we do anyways. So they offered me a job on the spot. And I let her know, like, holy cow, it took me 20 minutes of, talking about this whole mortgage thing to have an offer on a job. And she, at the time, was at a conference for her company and told her boss. Well, that same company owned a mortgage option as well. They owned a mortgage lender also. And somehow, what is now my former boss had heard, hey, Opie is going to be a mortgage guy with XYZ company. And he basically went, no, he's not. He's going to be a mortgage guy with our company. Because, again, he's got a wife who's with our company already. If we don't bring this man on when we need somebody to fill an office space anyways, we're certainly never going to get his wife's pipeline as well. Plus, being that he has that connection, he could probably build off of those relationships and potentially bring us more business. Because, again, unless I get paid or unless they get paid, I don't get paid. So it was one of those things again where, yeah, we'll offer him the job. So I think it was that week even, I sat down with him as well. And within a couple of days of talking to the first person that I talked to about mortgage, I had 2 job offers in mortgage. So I was, all right, I'm doing this. And I took the job with my wife's company, went through all of my schooling. I actually, that certificate right there and the one above it, those are from the different schooling programs that I did. Zenix Mortgage Academy is actually a really beneficial program. It did a lot for me. Blew through the state licensing tests. Took me like 45 minutes to do a 3-hour test. But so yeah, I mean, did that and traveled to and from Pittsburgh for a little while, working with a couple of different mortgage people down there and learning the ins and outs and how to basically connect with people. But and now I'm here where I'm at now. Maybe I'll venture into that a little more later. I don't want to be more than 20, 30 minutes each time I do this. So and I'm already at almost 18. So, but it's really cool to have a job like the one I have, because let's just use today as an example. At about 3:00 today, I'm going to meet my brother-in-law down at the school to help him set up for a reading event they're doing at the school today. And it's really cool that at 3:00 I can get out of here and I don't have to find that time clock to punch. I can go do what I should do as an uncle to his children and his brother-in-law, and help his wife who's running the event tonight. My kids won't be there. They'll be with their mother. And my stepdaughter, my third child, she will be with her biological father. So they won't be with us. So I'll actually be here where I'm at right now for an event we're having. But it's really cool that I can get up in the middle of the day, 3:00, and do that. And if I want to come back, I can come back. If not, work from home. If the phone's not ringing, my business is done, emails are answered, I can take a nap in the middle of the day if I want to. I mean, that doesn't really happen. Maybe on a Sunday I'll randomly do that if it was maybe a long night the night before or something. But I've been able to be at every single soccer game, every single dance recital for my daughters, and basketball games now for my son. I ended up being my son's basketball coach, and maybe I'll go into that a little more later too. But yeah, I don't really know where to go on this. I'm just kind of introducing myself to the world. So this is Opie Hughes, not my legal name. Opie Hughes is a nickname I earned. Opie is a nickname I earned. And I'm a 33-year-old grown-ass man from Erie, Pennsylvania. I work in mortgages, and I have 3 kids and a wife. And they are really my world. It's not work that's my world. It can't be work that's your world. If work is your world is wrong. I'll say that. That's maybe another piece of advice to take here is, while you should focus on being good at what you do, if that's all you focus on, you're not good at life. You're failing life. I'd like to, like I said, it's one of the best things about this job is the ability to manage a successful life and career. So I can do my job and be a friend and be a brother and be a son and be a dad and be a dog owner and a cat owner and part-time mechanic at some points, because again, my friends and family know that I'm the guy who can fix stuff. So I may even end up doing that this weekend. And I'm also a new homeowner myself, so I have, a basement to finish and a fence to put up and a deck to build, and we're going to cut a giant hole in our house to put a French door in that we've had strapped to the rafters of the garage since we bought the house in July. But yeah, I mean, that's just a little bit about me and who I am, and I don't know. If you listen to this whole thing 21 minutes in, thank you. You actually give a damn what I have to say. And we'll try more. I'll get some feedback here, and we'll see what people want to hear. I mean, if they want me to go into stuff about how to buy houses, obviously I got the ins and outs on that. I really like to pride myself on being somebody who knows a lot about the credit part of it, so I can educate if we wanted to go that far, or maybe bring in somebody. I can bring in, right on the other side of this door for my office is 35 agents at this office, and there's, I think, 600 plus in this county alone. So if you want some house stuff, we can do house stuff, that's for sure. But I think for now I'm going to kind of call this like a video diary of my life kind of thing that has an emphasis on my job. So it's not going to be numbers the whole time. It'll be something like this where I'll tell you what I do and how I do it. So maybe the next video will kind of be, I'll start at day one of my job here, and you can see how it affected my life. You can see how it's done, how you start the job, how you get started in the job. And again, like I said, when it comes to my wife, there's a giant elephant in the room there, with her being an agent herself, that I definitely am going to cover at some point. It was something that I've been told multiple times to avoid like the plague, but I don't think I can. I don't think I should. I think it's something I kind of need to mention so I can clear the air, essentially, because people think there's some sort of favoritism, some sort of nepotism going on there. It's really not happening. But so I'll definitely cover that a bit, I think. Nothing too crazy. That's going to be a short and to the point kind of thing. There's no reason to beat that. But yeah, so again, 23 minutes now in. If you've continued to listen, thank you. And let me know what you think and what you want to hear and what you think I should do. I have some fun little social media stuff and marketing stuff that I can bring out. I do have an alter ego, and he may make an appearance or two. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not quite sure. Just wanted to plug this microphone in and start. Just shut up and do it, right? So that's what I'm doing. I had 4 things on this list, and they were a short intro, what I might use this channel for, name ideas, and mortgage intro. And that's it. Those were done, I think. I don't know if I said give me some ideas on what to name it, but hey, give me some ideas on what to call this thing. That's it. We're going to go for now because I got shit to do. So thanks for listening. If you've stuck around 24 minutes in, if you haven't, you missed and you're lame. And bye.